my next question, Vasu, which is the in-workshop experience that participants can expect. I was wondering if you can speak a little bit to your approach on how would you bring them to some kind of a common framework, despite the diverse experiences and diverse issues that they're going to be bringing. How do you bring them together? And maybe as a follow-up, I know this has been high on some of my, folks have contacted me who are new to workshops like this. They also want to know that for them, how is a safe environment created so that they can really truly, authentically express themselves, as these are sensitive topics, and especially as you talk about personal experiences and sensuality and those kinds of things.
I think we start with a field of women that opens a level of vulnerability and connectedness, that people are not coming there to compete. It's no competition. That already a field of women just being together sincerely opens the heart. And when the heart is present and open, even if it's afraid, there's a level of safety. To add to that safety, each person is entitled to be themselves. There's no pressure. People are encouraged to listen to themselves and to only do what feels right and not to do what doesn't feel right. So there's no sense of subtle pressure, group pressure, sexual pressure. That's absolutely not there. And that gives people an immediate sense of safety that they can say yes, they can say no, they can say maybe, because women have had no boundaries. So part of the work is learning a little bit. Boundaries is a highly complex phenomenon because it really talks to one's deeper sense of self. Are you integrated? Are you disintegrated? But just by starting, by being able to be allowed to have permission to say this feels good and this doesn't, already creates a mixture of safety and empowerment. So that's at the get-go. Obviously, there's confidentiality. Obviously, people's physical safety is protected. Their personal safety is protected. And every exercise, every inquiry is always begun by feel what feels right to you. If it feels good, do it. If it doesn't feel good, simply don't. And giving people that freedom is very helpful.
Yeah.
Because obviously people are at different levels. Some are ready to dive in and open bigger, and some people are more cautious, and they need to be allowed to be cautious. I will give general guidelines, general guardrails, but I'm not going to do too much. I think that what I like to do is trigger people's innate intelligence and help them to listen to it. I don't want to be too much of a, I'm certainly not somebody who is a spiritual guide. I'm not that. I just like to support them to find their own way and just to start trusting themselves. It's so difficult for women. Women are so confused, so afraid to take decisions, so afraid to do things wrong. So, not knowing, because we've not been trained that way. So just to give people confidence, self-trust, this goes such a long way. I'm not looking for big spiritual awakenings, really not. I'm looking for little moments of inner connection and repair, little moments where you're less run by your trauma and your fear.
So beautiful. So that's where the relaxation, the creativity, and the fun comes in, right? You start to really go with the flow and start to open up and have some fun with the whole process.
And I think when women connect to their bodies, there's this field that opens up that's so magnificent. But to connect to the finer, the more subtle energy in their bodies, because there's so much frozenness and so much repression and so much fear, but fear in the sense of uncertainty. Am I okay? Am I okay? Let's just call it insecurity. Am I okay? Am I okay? Who's going to make me feel okay? Are you? Are you? No, I'm going to make me feel okay. Who's going to make me feel okay?
This part of taking ownership for your own growth, for your own development, and yet doing it in a safe environment with, as you were saying, other women when the hearts are open. And that's really, I feel like you help create, with help facilitate that kind of an ambience, for
Yeah.
this kind of discovery
See,
to happen.
I think women, I love women. Not that I don't love men. I love women. I think women are enormously intelligent. I think women have just like the most phenomenal intelligence because it's related to heart. If women can be taught to hook back into their own wisdom, it would be just so miraculous, so powerful. And I really try to support that in any way I can. And, all the technologies here, we have every bit of technology. Why I say it's a good time to be a woman, because 30 years ago, what we have available now was not there. We didn't have trauma work. We didn't have all the spiritual work. We didn't have so many diverse meditations. We didn't have safe ways to open our hearts. We didn't have it. Now we have everything. We have the full range of inner and outer technology. Everything's available. Every app you ever needed. It's amazing, but we have to use it.